Hello and welcome to the Quiver channel. I'm Jason, your host. We're on our way to Hanley. I've just had to send the parcel back to Amazon. So yeah, I wanted to talk about the server that I'm using, the R730DX or XD. I can never remember whether it's an XD or a DX because it's just never thingy. So let's just call it an R730. And I love it, it's beautiful. People in my comments have mentioned about that I'm probably badly affecting myself by switching away from my big computer and trying to do everything through a server, and you're probably right, but remember this: I prefer to live in the past. My past was so much more simple. I have no interest in AAA titles. I'm sorry, AAA titles these days are horrible. I have not seen a AAA title that has actually been good in the past couple of years. It hasn't. There's nothing that's interested me at all. I love the Dragon Age series of games, but the latest one was a complete mess and no interest to me. I love the Mass Effect series of games, but I hold no hope up to what kind of mess Electronic Arts is going to create. I have not bought an Electronic Arts game or a Take-Two game or an Activision game in probably 4 years. I have stopped buying their crap, their reshoveled stuff, their bloody loot boxes, their absolute pieces of shit. When you realise that every single Battlefield game and every single Call of Duty game is just a rehashed, remarketed to try and get you to spend more money and to fill some fucking arseholes, then you realise that why the hell am I paying for it? There is literally hundreds of thousands of games out there built by developers, indie developers, built by innovative people that are actually good. I myself have 1,300 games on my Steam list, and I've only played like 20% of them. If I didn't buy another game for my entire life, I would have enough games to last me. There is a couple of games coming out that I will buy. One is the Long Dark 2, and there's a couple of other things on my wish list. But most of my wish list games are old games. So you do not need the top tier of graphics to be able to play modern games. This is the dirty little secret. This is the dirty little secret of them trying to get you to buy new stuff every year. You don't need it. Any CPU that's got 4 cores, 5 cores, 6 cores and a pretty healthy gigahertz and isn't more than 10 years old can run game. Unless you subscribe to the cult of FPS, the cult of benchmarks. I'm sorry, but I can happily play a computer game at 30 FPS. If it's stable at 30 FPS. I can happily play a game at 100 FPS if it's stable at 100 FPS. I still use my Valve Index, which came out, my VR headset that came out in 2019. I hardly use my Quest 3, it sits on the shelf as a backup. There is this inane marketing drive to force you to buy a new piece of technology, when most people's computers, AM4, 9700K on the actual Intel side and that, are still absolutely fucking solid things. Anything within the last 4 or 5 generations can still game. And when they bring up bullshit, absolute fucking bullshit, of these new processors and that are almost like, for example, the 13900KS, the 13900KS, people at Intel absolutely knew, I'm just going to stop to get a drink, they knew that you would never be able to cool them, that these things were going to thermal throttle, that they were never going to be able to reach their full potential, and they still sold them. And you still bought them. The 2700F or K was a wonderful budget CPU. You do not need top of the range. Yeah, just got to grab that. My drink fell on the floor. You do not need the top of the range. Just like you actually do not need ultra settings. Do you know why they put ultra settings in a game? For benchmarks and reviewers and for shiny pictures. They don't expect anybody to actually play on ultra settings. They put it in there specifically, and even the devs have said that, and for different games, ultra settings are there to take really nice pictures of the game, not to actually enjoy your gameplay footage, you know. You need to go like generations ahead to use ultra settings, and this is the problem. As gamers, we have been, how can I put it, lied to, brainwashed, indoctrinated by fucking marketing and RGB and all this crap. You don't need that. You can build a PC, a budget PC, and game on it. I've gamed on a Panasonic Toughbook from 2012. I've gamed on laptops recently that have only a Core 2 Duo and not even a graphics card in them. And there are still games out there that you can play fine. So that Xeon computer downstairs, my gorgeous server, there is only one thing keeping me from having that as my main PC. Because here's another dirty little secret. We haven't even populated PCI Express X16 Gen 3. The marketing for motherboards have said, oh, we need Gen 4, and then, oh, we need Gen 5. It's all just so you buy new crap. Think about it this way. Roughly, each generation of PCI Express doubles the amount of bandwidth that it can use. So, a Gen 4 is equal to can give you twice the speed, or roughly, it's not completely, but roughly twice the speed of a Gen 3. And Gen 3 was still very powerful and fast. A Gen 5, twice Gen 4. And we haven't even populated Gen 4. They'll say, oh, but we can do this. Bullshit. It's all bullshit. As a gamer, you do not need it. It has been proved time and time and again that games, as long as you've got an SSD in your system, not an NVMe, not an M2, but an SSD, the difference in speed between you loading your game and you gaming and loading textures is minuscule, absolutely fucking minuscule. So SSDs are fine. There's only a mechanical drive, and we're talking old mechanical drives, not the faster mechanical. There is mechanical drives that can run quite fast. My eyes were open to this when I had the Steam Deck. You see, you can run games on the Steam Deck on the internal M2, wonderful fast thing, which has like, I think it's 4,000 megabytes or something. Something absolutely fucking silly and ridiculous. Or you can put a little micro SD slot card in there that has a maximum megabytes a second of like 170, which is within the range of a good quality hard drive, and games actually run fine on it. It's like, oh. And it's all like marketing bullshit and that. Only the top tier elite sports stuff and that kind of thing benefits from any of this bullshit that they try to push on you. This is why there is a growing scene at the moment of people putting together gaming PCs based on what's called the X99 motherboard, because you can get them for really cheap Chinesium stuff on AliExpress, and pairing them with a Xeon to game on. Yes, you're not going to bloody do 4K gaming, but I'm sorry, most people actually can't tell the difference between 2K, 1K and 4K gaming. They just try to convince themselves that they can. So it's kind of sad just how much bullshit there is out in the marketing to consumers. You see, the thing is, my Dell server, even though it's an early generation DDR4, it's much more competent in fucking everything than a equivalent consumer. Why? Because of something that they do to you. They lie to you on the box. It's not a lie, but it is a lie. How can I put it in the best way possible? When they tell you that you can have 6 SATA connectors, 4 or 2 M2 connectors, and then you've got 2 or 3 X16 PCI connectors on your board, there's a little asterisk, or 1 or 2 asterisks, and these asterisks will tell you that if you fulfill all of the SATA ports, one of the PCI slots won't work. If you fill 2 of the X16s, they both turn down into X8s. If you fill the M2 slots, another one of the SATA ports will basically stop working, or even a PCI lane will stop working. But they don't tell you that. I wonder if we're going to go there. I don't know where we're going to go. I actually think I'm going to go this way. Yeah, let's go up here for it. I'm going to get the dogs some burgers. The doggies deserve burgers, yay! So, both on stock. And then we've got this bullshit from Nvidia, their new cards, which are pretty much the worst performance optimized in that cards you will ever have. I mean, I'm sorry, but if I spend if I spend, let's see if we can go this way. If I spend, no, can't go that way. We'll go back up this way. No one behind me. If I spend 2,500 on a 5090, I shouldn't have to turn on fake frames to get good performance. The raw power should be able to mean that any AAA works fine. Let's go this way. So yeah, the new generation of cards using AI and all that kind of thing, they basically made them weaker and easier to make, and you have to use all this generational weird shit software, otherwise, oh my god, you won't get what you paid for. So on the hardware side, on the software side, developers have been paid off by NVIDIA and all them not to basically optimize their software as much as they can. On the hardware side, they're lying to you. So it's all a steaming pile of bullshit. I have a computer in my house, an Amiga 500, with a 7.17, I believe, or something like that, megahertz, not gigahertz, megahertz main processor. And some of the games on that system are better quality, better gameplay than anything that we see in modern games. And when a developer basically tells you that you should that automatically turns on FSR or DLL. Remember, DLLs and FSR were supposed to be software to make it so that older cards could compare, could keep up with newer cards. Not for newer cards to be able to play AAA. Not for them to be able to play AAA. No, wasn't ever meant to happen. FSR, the LSS were meant to give more life in older generations of cards so that they could keep going and keep up with the modern stuff. Not for your 50-fucking-90 that costs 2,500 to be able to actually function. If someone gave me a 5090, I would take you in the backyard and make a video of me with a hammer smashing the fucker to pieces. That's what I think of the 50 series card. Even the 5070. The 30 series was the last true muscle cards. The 40 series isn't too bad. It's a good card. It still adds too much of the bloody AI crap, but it's not a bad card at all. But the 50 series is absolute crap. Let's see where we're going to go. I think we'll stick to this side. Yeah, why not? So yeah, this is why... Oh, I'd better stop this video now and start the next one. So I will say bye-bye and continue ranting about technology on the other one. Back in a bit.